Good morning, everybody. Hope you're all doing really well. I'm tempted to say on our Friday show, but of course ain't Friday here yet. Grateful for an early check on sound after the issue I had on Sunday. It's the first time I've fired the kit up since, so be grateful for that. And here we are, all set for a change of pace show on a Thursday for a change. Two-parter today, which I think I've covered in community posts. There's just a irritating half an hour gap between 20 to 10 and sort of 10 o'clock-ish. So I figured, let's do two streams back to back, do it that way, and then it all works out quite nicely. I'm just going to say a few hellos in the chat while we await our first movement of the show, which is actually the one that kind of got away from us on Friday. More on that in a second. Now W, sound is fine. HGC, good morning to both of you. Sound is good there. Good stuff. Please let me know if that changes. Drizzle is just starting here, so I think I've had the best of the early morning phase, says he. Right. So inbound EasyJet A321 Neo heading inwards from Bristol, which was exactly the same movement we were anticipating back end of Friday. On that occasion they swapped the plane out. Today they ain't, so we're going to see it come and we're going to see it go. Due out around 8:45. We don't get many EasyJet A321s at Newcastle. Aircraft now is on its way in. Looking at the artwork on Flight Radar, it looks like it's already had one go. I definitely didn't notice it while I was setting it up. Anyway, squeeze in a few cheeky hellos before we go deep into the show. Good morning, Janine K. Hello to you. Hope you're doing well. Superstar Nell is in the room, of course. Yvonne V, good morning to you. Not able to stop today, but left a like. Thank you, Yvonne. And of course, as always, folks, please be kind to me with an early like. It really does make such a difference once we're live, when the like count ticks up. Excellent stuff. Well, Yvonne, whatever you're up to today, I hope it works out fine. In my head, it's Friday. Looks like we've got a Ryanair pushed and turned on. No, it might be a Jet 2. Let's just check that out. Jet 2 are quite topical today. It is a Jet 2 off to Lanzarote. I won't put that on cam yet because I'm keeping an eye out for the inbound EasyJet, which should be visible in a second. It is about just under 1,500 feet. Cloud today quite low, so we're talking around a ceiling of around 1,000 feet thereabouts. Lots of scattered stuff that is perhaps a little bit lower than that. Good morning, Sue Major. How are you doing, Sue? Good morning, Sam Thurlaway. Oh, and hi to AJ as well. I'm back. Yep. I see Sam Thurlaway is also our early spotter when we are on Western Op. So let's just get us round. So runway 25 in play. There's your EasyJet. I'm just going to put this on record, so bear with me. It'll probably just drift out of focus for a second while I'm unattended. So a few extra A321 movements. I'm not sure if British Airways are actually sending us one today. Be awfully sporting if they are, but as Sam Thurlaway mentioned in the chat a short while ago, he's just seen sight of the inbound Jet 2 A321. There's a few movements ongoing today, as was earlier in the week. Jet 2 using this as a training stop. So we've got an inbound from Manchester, and the same aircraft comes back to us later via Prestwick. So a couple of bonus movements. All about the bonus movements. Just fired a quick snap of this off, flank side. See if I can pick up into the chat. So the Jet 2 that is tracking out, second telescope of the year, nearly on me. I'm guessing this is the Jet 2 A321. Got a bit of crab on there. There is a crosswind component today that should strengthen throughout the morning. Trains and buses shot. We have trains and planes at Edinburgh, planes and buses at Newcastle. British Airways, so at least that is not the Jet 2 A321. I thought I might film that one as a separate clip for the Facebook page. Good morning, Jonathan McD. Big wave from Mark. Hope you're doing well, mate. So it's supposed to get increasingly windy as the day goes on, which I think is indicative of where the weather is heading going into the weekend. It's supposed to be getting windier. Decent probability when I checked this morning of rain during today's show. Certainly in the first phase of the show, and then I think it eases and then it increases again around the time we're scheduled to finish part 2, if I've remembered that correctly. Good morning, Carl Shield. Sunny Dublin. You've trumped us there, Carl. I don't think we're going to get any prospect of overfly catches today. There's not even a token bit of blue. So the plan, as covered a little bit earlier, is finish around 20 to 10 with part 1, restart part 2 at 10. Seems like a way to go. Gives you a chance to load the dishwasher, make a brew, walk the dog. Well, probably run the dog, I guess, if you can do the whole thing in 20 minutes. So certainly good at this end, thanks AJ. So Scottish Linda, can't remember if I've said good morning or not. Blame it on age for me. How you doing, Linda? Hope all is good. Big wave from me to you. Daily Memes Gaming, good morning to you. Hi to Derek Porter. Couple of minutes in the show before you go to work. Well, I hope it all passes nice and swiftly for you. We've got an inbound Jet 2 now from Manchester, not the plane on camera. Currently on final approach. We have G-Sun B. So that is our brand new-ish. It says 1 year on flight radar, but it's actually nearer 2 years old. March 2023 when it entered service. That is now on final approach, just over 1,000 feet and closing fast. Good morning, Ian Nicholson. Nice early start indeed. I think with Newcastle on the winter timetable particularly, it's a kind of fits where it touches kind of thing from a planning point of view. I mostly prefer Friday streams, to be honest, because everyone's got or most people, if they're not working, have got that ready for the weekend. Can I get in? Can't get in. Can now. Yeah, a little bit more crabbing, just easing out of it. So we're seeing a lot more of the 14 strong Jet 2 A321 fleet at Edinburgh. Generally we're only seeing them here on these training flights that seem to be quite regularly scheduled. And forgetting my manners, good morning to anyone that is watching the show or wondering who's doing the talking. I'm Mark. My very much huge pleasure to meet you. Welcome to Newcastle. Well, Newcastle, England, Tyne and Wear, England, not Newcastle, New South Wales. Fairly certain the weather prospects are much better there. This is me firing a quick shot off. One more just for fun. Alright, that's enough of that. So we have a Jet 2 departure to Lanzarote now. It's a little bit hazy at the back end, isn't it? Keep getting this sense of very, very fine drizzle, barely perceptible, but it's kind of there if you look carefully. Linda sorting the kids for school. Oh, takes me right back, that Linda. Back in the day. Be way outside my pay grade now. Well, you want the kids to get to school. And set Carl, how are you doing, Carl? Not seen you for a bit. Hope you're keeping well. So we do have another plane on final approach. It's another BA, as I think was been talked about in the chat. So an inbound British Airways A320 coming our way. So this track is going to have to get cleared fairly quickly. We've also got what I think is only one of 2 turboprop movements in the show, an Aer Lingus ATR 72 inbound from Dublin. That is just crossing the North Sea now to loop around for its final approach. Looks like we're moving. It's another Jet 2 on its way out. In fact, that might be the training flight on its way out, actually. Obviously, it's coming light. This will be interesting. Always good to find out if you've allowed enough slack on your cables for the first overfly of the show. I was saying the cloud pretty low today. Meta makes it about 1,000 feet. Mark agrees. Look at this. Everyone's going on a late winter holiday. 2 more weeks and technically we are in spring, are we not? Spring will sprung. Check my grammar out. So that inbound A321 is shortly to become outbound for, well, it's still showing as Manchester on flight radar, but I know it to be going to Prestwick. So let's put you on the plane in question. So British Airways still working their way through final approach. That 320 from Heathrow. Aircraft 19 years of age. G-Medic, Golf Mike Echo Delta Kilo. Just doing around 1,600 feet at the minute. We'll pick it up momentarily. Thank you, NSEC Carl. I'm locked and loaded. Well, I got my right eye on it, left eye on this Jet 2 321. These runway lights kind of give off the illusion there's some kind of Roman candle, or certainly some kind of jazzy candle. Anyway, enough pontificating. Yeah, still gently crabbing. As I was saying earlier, the wind will get stronger as the morning progresses. I've not tagged it a windy stream because I don't want to risk the wind not turning up in the advertised strength. I hate it when I see other people over egg their pudding, and I've done it myself before now, unintentionally. Tell you what, those bushes are going to be a right nuisance when they've got leaves on, aren't they? So there should be an ATR out there on final approach by my reckoning. I reckon LW, the minute you show up with your bush cutting paraphernalia, they'll be wrestling you off your step ladders faster than you can say, but I'm just trying to help. So it's something fairly unusual for us, isn't it? 2 BAs. We have seen more British Airways aircraft here at the same time, but clearly, let's try and get the countdown board on. Stand 3, that is generally where British Airways go out from, certainly whenever I've ridden with them. Right, the ATR is inbound. I'm going to try the replay out for that, because as I've explained on previous shows, you kind of have to set it up approximately and then see if it'll do what you want. It's definitely got a crab on at the minute. Let's go there now. Still a fair way out. I might be reaching in the light conditions with the focus on this camera. It is not the greatest in poor light. Look at that, it's going over there. Is it really going over there? Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm just going to come out a little bit, folks. It's not much of a view for you at the minute. If I leave the shot long, oh no. Brought her home. Good morning, Gary Fleming. How you doing, mate? What have we got today? GPN. Off camera, that Jet 2 A321neo that is off to Prestwick is still holding well short of the active. Exactly, Nell. Lawnmower delight, as I often like to think of them, the Jolly Green Giant's lawnmower. Just tweak that slightly. Okay, all good. So we do have a Pilatus PC12 NG due out at 11:05. Oh no, due in, not due out. No, due out. Definitely due out. I will get a grip on that one. If only I could remember where it was going. I've got that in my notes, so let me just have a quick forage. I think you're right, Derek Porter. I don't know what the relative economic arguments are between the two, the Dash 8 and the ATR, or well, but I guess the way the market is shaped speaks for itself. Nah, Carl Shield, we don't want Aer Lingus biffing off all their ATRs. Where would we get our prop action from? It's a big part of the prop scene at Edinburgh. Loganair, certainly on the winter timetable, don't really give us more than one a show. Of course, it's not about my wants and needs. Good morning, Marinella. How are you doing? Just going back up the chart. Yeah, Nell, that's inbound ATR. There was a point when I was looking at it and I'm thinking, is he off somewhere else? As I was saying earlier, I'll just get the Met forecast up if I can find where I've squirreled it. There we go, Met Office. Crikey, I looked into that. Usually, cold fingers on a low sensitivity touch screen don't really add up to fast work. Right, here we go. So currently, according to the forecast, it's basically going to build up to something in the region of 37 mile an hour gusts. So what's that going to be? About 34 knots or something like. And that'll be when we go off air for the end of part 2. At the minute it's meant to be around that now actually, so actually it's probably in material terms as windy as it's likely to be, which explains a lot from what we've seen with that ATR, definitely. Good morning, H. Dot. How you doing? Welcome to not really very sunny Newcastle, but happily dry and, as befits a move away from easterly winds, much warmer than we've been enjoying of late. Not t-shirt weather, definitely not that, but yeah, it's conditions are good. If it stays dry, I should be one happy camper. Bit of a downpour just before the 777, which last I knew was 10 minutes late-ish, so due in as was around 11:30. Don't know why I'm saying as was. Why don't I just find out what it's doing now? That would actually be the proactive thing to do. So here we go. Weather forecast for Edinburgh on Sunday looks interesting insofar as it's going to be blinking windy but potentially incredibly wet, so we'll just have to work out where the sort of delta between those two things is in terms of being able to protect the kit anyway. So the inbound 777 is still about 10 minutes late, so in the scheme of our run time it's fine where it sits. So we're kind of taking that breather at 20 to 10, give you all a chance to deal with anything more pressing, because there isn't anything scheduled. If for some reason something looks like it's coming this way, military or whatever, then we'll just extend part 1 and get rid of part 2, if that makes sense. But I'm not betting on that. I think it's better to just set your stall out. Expect a gap, and so it goes at 12 o'clock. I would have liked to have stuck on for the 777's departure, but the action between 12 and 1 o'clock is incredibly spotty, and yeah, it's great to hang out with folks, of course, but you know, a splattering of planes, so to speak. Yeah, smattering's the word I wanted, not splattering. That's not the right word at all, is it? Okay. Oh, I'm impressed, H-Dot. Pruning over the last few days. You're right about the cold, though. I've got some spuds to put in on my allotment, which really I need to be getting a wriggle on with. But the ground all wants turning over, and I've just not quite felt the urge to get out there yet. But that's changing. I think now the daylight is swinging our way. Just going to give you something else. So we're just going to loiter here for the minute. So this is a training flight, a Jet 2 training flight. One of a number today, and in recent weeks we've had a decent volume of these kind of movements. So thank you, AJ. We've got KLM's Embraer 195E2 next in. Let's see where that's got to. Just crossed the coast now, so small minutes away, probably about 2 minutes I would have thought. The Embraer 195E2, 2 years of age according to flight radar, currently tracking on a 2,450 feet and declining as it enters its glide slope. Still very high in the sky to the naked eye. I think, looking at AJ's comment about the heat, I think with living in northeast England, I think the days where heavy heat are on you are pretty few, aren't they, folks? Anyone in the show who lives around here will know what I'm talking about. Windy days, most days. But yeah, I suppose if I'm going to be... I don't like the extreme heat. I don't think anybody does, do they? You can't enjoy it. But... I don't know, a nice steady 24, 25 Celsius under full sun next to a swimming pool and a cold drink and a good book. Yeah, I think that's my sweet spot for hot weather relaxation. 50 likes already. Thank you so much, Nell W, for ringing the bell. Quick firework moment, folks. Forgot about that. Awesome stuff, team. So we'll stay loitered on this Jet 2 A321 for the minute, because some of you in the show are probably in the same Facebook group, the Jet 2, is it Jet 2 enthusiasts or whatever it's called. I should be more precise, shouldn't I? But ooh, I've just seen a really good message here. It's not a chat one, I don't think. I don't know. I might share it in a minute when I've digested it. Anyway, I was going with this. Okay, let's do the KLM and I'll come back to it. Folks have been complaining about the seats, basically. Saying the seats in the Jet 2 A321 Neos are uncomfortable. And to be fair to Jet 2, a bit of crab in there, isn't there? apparently they're going to be upgrading the seats to a different spec of the same seat. What I didn't get time to do before I came on air is actually to try and find out what that means. Is it like an extra inch of padding for your backside? Is it, you know, maybe slightly wider? I don't know. I would have thought it was slightly wider. I think it's more about, is there a bit more cushioning, a bit more padding, better foam? Do you know what? I am loving KLM even more than usual these days. We've had a couple of really good waves from the flight deck in the last 2 Edinburgh shows. I used to think they were a little bit stingy on the old acknowledgement, but nah. We had an open window wave a couple of weeks back, and a really vigorous captain wave on Sunday. I think they've seen me. Never mind. Ooh, seen that one before. The 1700th EasyJet sticker. I think we've done a short clip of this one. I think it last appeared here for me when we covered the Saudi 10 Dreamliner back in November. Oh, that's a bonus. I didn't think we got anything that approximated special livery. Special sticker. So we are literally into the last hour of the show, as is part one. Look at that sock, it's doing a fair bit. Right, I think, what am I hearing? Somebody's asking for a push. I didn't catch the first part of the message. It ain't this one. So this is the EasyJet A321 return flight to Bristol. Good morning, Mary Brock. How you doing? I'm in good shape at my end. Just saying earlier in the show, it is far from a summer's day, but it is a lot warmer than of late. The drizzle that was very gently flirting with pestering me has cleared off for the minute, but everywhere you look, the sky looks full of the possibility of rain. But the forecast itself is actually fairly positive. Rain, according to the Met Office, is a 40% probability at the minute, which kind of makes sense of what I can see. Just going to alter the view. Mark webcam. I've just seen your post, Scottish Linda. Forgot to turn the TV up. Still tired this morning. You need more tea. More tea. Talking of tea, not that I'm plugging a product, but I do like to share an interesting discovery. So me and Mrs. PSA, or more accurately, Mrs. PSA, because she spotted it, I've added, we've just moved our brand again, as we often do, something called Clippers Organic Tea, which you can get in Asda, probably get it in loads of other places, truth be told, although I've never seen it before. It is blooming nice, and if you kind of want to get a relativity in terms of, well, what tea does Mark like, Twinings, Yorkshire Gold, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, this stuff is like, yeah, it's obviously got plenty of caffeine in it, because I reckon I only like the more caffeinated teas. I'm just checking my notes about these Jet 2 A321 seats. So let's just pop on a plane that is representative of the conversation. So apparently their fleet of 14 has a mixture of something called Acro Series 6 seats and some which Acro Series 9 seats. Not a clue what happened to Series 7 and 8, but you can imagine, you kind of think, oh, Series 9 must be pretty mint. I'll try and get some gen on all of this for Sunday's show at Edinburgh. But yeah, let's be honest, most seats are on aircraft, unless you're travelling in the plusher ones, I don't think are very comfortable. The A320 I find a despicable ride, and for that matter the A319, it's the same kind of seating. Good morning, Mark Sanderson. How you keeping? Long time no see, pal. Hope you're well. Linda's had 2 cups of tea already. Wow. I think there's scope for more, Linda. I've got to set you an improvement objective. Consume more tea before 9 o'clock, then you won't feel so tired. You'll have a crash a bit later on, but you can offset that with some decent biscuits. Healthy living tips from Mark. Good morning, Paul Usher. How you doing? Linda will drink other tea when it's not available. Yeah, you kind of got to roll with it, haven't you? But this is in no rush, is it? So if you've just joined the show, we are runway 25 today. Basically with a fairly decent crosswind as it goes. At the moment, we've got a crosswind component of about 8 knots or something in that region. Right, ibid bip bip. Let's just drop by, see the hard-working team in the tower. Give us a wave, you know you wanna. Right, stairs are off that EasyJet A321. Just going to wedge us there for the moment. Just heard myself sniffling in the headset. Sorry about that, folks. I'll sniffle less. AJ uses tea as a remedy for flu or other ailments. It's funny, you know, when I've had flu or man flu or all of those iterations, COVID, and I never fancy tea. For all I've said, I never fancy it. It's like water and that's it, or perhaps a squash or something. But yeah, it's curious that. And of course, I guess full fat Coke, all that sugar in there, will definitely get you moving. Good morning, DB Bassman and Audrey McDonald. 2 great friends of the show. How are you both doing? So, DB Bassman, although talking coffee is kind of doubling down, I guess, indirectly on the importance of caffeine in a balanced diet. Oh dear. Oh, I'm just going back up the chat. Nell, surely not. Your tea is lightly coloured water. It's interesting. Me and Mrs. PSA have been together for many, many years, and for a long time our tea tastes entirely aligned, but she seems to prefer tan coloured water and I seem to want it the other way. Thank you, Mark Sanderson, that's very kind, mate. 10k's been a long time in coming, but we're not all about the metrics, we're all about, you know, doing the community a good channel and having a good community around us and all that malarkey, and then you rely on the numbers to look after themselves. That's what I'm after. Get the fundamentals right. That's what I'm thinking. Well, I wish I'd listened to that more carefully. I've got a feeling that Jet 2 might be going, but I might be wrong. Hello, retired traveller. A good morning to you. Yes, change from Edinburgh. We will be back on Sunday. That is very much the plan. Forecast is a bit up in the air at the minute. It's going to be windy, which will make it interesting, but potentially could be very wet, which might make it just a little bit too leery from a setting up and protecting the kit kind of perspective, because as any live streamer will tell you, setting up in heavy rain is a very hard thing to do, and then if you have to do anything with the kit under heavy conditions, it's tricky. And whereas I know some people favour setting up under different varieties of tents and all the rest of it, if you're streaming, setting up on your own, you're never going to put a tent up on your own and do everything else. And the last thing you want is your tent on the airfield. Be a terrible look. Fly tipping. Good morning, Tony Rivers. Not suggesting that you're fly tipping, Tony. I just saw your name when I completed the sentence. Hope you're doing well, mate. So, this be a Jet 2 to Tenerife. Oh, that is excellent news, Audrey. Excellent, excellent. I bet you and John are feeling good about that. It just feels like the drizzle is just starting to come back again. AJ, I'm blushing. That is an incredibly kind comment. Kind of think we are... Oh, got a bit of EasyJet pushing. That must have been the message I didn't quite process. We try our jolly old best. No movement at the other end. That Jet 2 321 still parked, but it's going to have to shake a leg in a jiff. Yeah, I've missed the front end of the conversation, but I think reusing a tea bag it's a heresy. Definitely. Should be a criminal offence. Deary me. No, 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 no. Although I've got to be honest, it might be a thing about scale here, so let's have a look. Tony uses 4 Yorkshire Gold in his pint mug. That is a high octane blue. But nah, it's got to be stronger. Definitely criminal all day. You're right now. Okay, where to put the camera? We'll just loiter here because I think the EasyJet is just waiting for the tug to be unclipped, and I'm expecting it to request permission to move. Haven't booked it yet, Audrey. It's one of the... Oh, hang on. I think that was... I'm just listening to the ATC, or trying to interpret what I thought I heard. I've got a feeling that EasyJet is about to move, but again, I missed the front end. So, yeah, Audrey, my Tiger Moth flight at EasyJet, I need to get in touch with EasyJet just to see when they start the 2025 season. I'm thinking probably early May, if I can get a slot there, because they never get cancelled. I've still got June, July, August, you know. It's a bit of a lottery, the restrictions around flying of the aircraft being what they are, but I'll keep you all posted, most definitely. So this must be the EasyJet to Tenerife. So it is. Thank you, Janine, confirming that the Lufthansa wet lease that is CityJet is now live and about to head our way. So that should arrive in part 2 of the show, the CRJ 1000. Yeah, there's the, let's go to the EasyJet A321. Oh, that's interesting, Mark Sanderson, talking about all the approach lights now switched to LED. Do you know, Mark, if they have finished all the resurfacing work? I'm supposing they have, because they were grip testing, and we'll come on to that perhaps in part 2. Last time we were here, no point in grip testing tarmac that you're going to be chewing up. But that doesn't necessarily mean they've finished all the taxiways. Good morning, Stephen Marchant. Top of the morning to you this Thursday. I would have said sunny, but that would have been an oversell. Oh, I didn't realise I got a work hut there. Is that a hut? Look at that. Very nice. Just a job for plain sailing aviation. Have a little stand on the roof. So we're going to get a fairly rare thing. 2 A321s queuing up to go. Looks like the Jet 2 that is off to Tenerife is going to pass its sister aircraft. Let's point you at it. So it is. So the tempo so far has been pretty decent, hasn't it, for Newcastle? You're never going to get the high density of traffic that you get at Heathrow and Manchester, that's a given. On its less good days though, it can get a bit gappy when things aren't running reasonably well to schedule. So we basically have 3 planes shaping up to depart. I'm just watching that Aer Lingus ATR out the corner of my eye. Not sure what's happening there, but I don't think that'll be too far away either. Good morning, Joseph Dixon, big boy 380. I am chickadee boo buddy, never happier than when I'm hanging out with you guys and girls and watching the planes live. Hey, we're off. And we're being 2 or 3 degrees warmer than of late. It's kind of eased my comfort factor. Nice heavy flat departure meant I could stay with it all the way out. Right, somebody else is asking to go. Be EasyJet. But let's go there now. Telescope count for the year still is only 1 as we approach March. For those who wonder what I'm talking about, we're talking about occasions where I have missed something landing or taking off on account of my attention span being exceeded. Thank you HTC and LW, all very kind. I agree with you, Janine K. Beautiful sound when they come straight over. It's the good thing we have between here and Edinburgh. Edinburgh is more side-on action, and here it's all down the barrel stuff. So between the 2 airports that we cover regularly, we cover those perspectives regularly, I guess. So the A321, the Jet 2 A321 that is now out of shot, isn't due to go out for another half an hour, I've just realised. So we will get it at the back end of the show. Oh, we're off. bit of a crab. I think the cloud is lifting. Took a bit longer for the plane to disappear. See you later, Carl Shield. And good morning, Rab H from a very miserable North Lanarkshire. Out of curiosity, Rab, what's your read on the weather prospects for Sunday morning at Edinburgh? I was saying earlier in the show that it looks interesting. It's going to be a windy day, but potentially the rain in the morning could be quite onerous from what I can figure. But anyway, hope you're doing well. It's a good effort, Rab. You're only an hour behind the start. Oh, what's going on here? Starting up. Bum bum bum. To be honest, if I hadn't set the alarm on my phone today, I reckon I could have slept in, and that don't happen very often at all. It shows you when you need your kip, you need your kip. I found this fascinating Netflix documentary about Black Hawk Down. Do you remember the American Rangers helicopters that got downed in Somalia too many years ago? Oh, looks like our Jet 2A321 is going to go a bit early. It's awfully sporting of them. Keep the action rolling. Anyway, I found it quite engrossing. So it obviously works in terms of putting me ready for a bit of kip. Usually if I'm streaming the next day, I sleep terribly because I'm kind of like a kid on Christmas Eve. I want to get out there. Nell, you can't be saying stuff like that. It'll get repeated as if it's if it's the truth. Good morning, Alan Lee. Ooh, that's a pig, isn't it, Rab? I've just seen your message about when the wind turns on you. Always seemed to happen to me when I was running. I don't run anymore, but when I did, too many times I found myself going out, running into the wind, and coming back, running into the wind. So we do see this plane again, inbound from Prestwick in part 2 of the show. Aer Lingus have pushed and turned in the meantime. return flight to Dublin. Well, that's looking at AJ's comment about the rain forecast for Sunday. That's exactly the one I want. I don't mind a bit of rain. I want to set up in the dry, then it does what it does. As long as I can protect the kit. If we get some good spray shots, that'll be a lot of fun. Good morning, Melody R. And Alibi 58. How you doing? Pigging internet. Alibi. I know Rab's had trouble with his, and I think there's some other folks at different points in the show who've had a bumpy old time with their IT. My laptop, I thought I'd given up the ghost yesterday. I literally thought, oh sugar. I'm replacing it this year because I need to get a Windows 11 compliant one. And it's tapped out anyway. The fan is on all the while, pretty much. Anyway, by the by, things just stopped working that didn't start working after a reboot. I thought, blow. Cleared out as much stuff as I could, uninstalled a few bits and bobs, and it looks like it's got a little bit of life left. So we're still going to change the laptop while we've got the ability to browse online. The minute you knacker it, I don't like phone browsing, particularly when I'm doing proper product research. It's okay for a quick look. Eddie laughs at that. He always says, same difference, Dad, what's up with you? I just like a bigger screen, obviously. Yeah, it's definitely going to be all of that, Tony. I think I'm okay with that. I think it should potentially, if I can work the broadcast correctly, make for some entertaining visuals, even if it's just a sight of me being blown on beyond the camera like a crisp packet. I must admit though, wind direction, I prefer not to be at the mound on a windy day. As anyone that's spotted from their nose, it's bleak when it blows, isn't it? It really is. But we'll play the cards as they come. So we've got Ryanair over the far side, just pushed and turned. So let's just wait there for the ATR. See if it's got a spot as any. Yeah, Tony, it's exactly that, isn't it? I think Windows 10 finishes in October. I keep getting spammed with messages from my current laptop provider and Windows saying, you need to act now. Can we help you? Yeah, Alibi, I think that's the thing with the weather. You've just got to note it for what it is and then see how it plays out. I don't know how many times the weather hasn't been as bad as stated. It's rarely worse than stated in my experience. And I think that's because the weather guys and girls don't like to under forecast. Since that hurricane back in the late 80s when Michael Fish memorably said, hurricane, what hurricane, or words similar. AJ, I'm definitely a watch planes in the rain over fishing in the rain. I used to fish many years ago and I enjoyed that, all weathers as you do, but I don't know, there's just more moving parts visually with the planes, you know, sights and sounds, and just keeps you going that bit longer, I reckon. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? We're talking about bad weather, but if it was, today was 25 degrees C and unbroken sunshine, the hazing shooting down the runway just wouldn't be that good. As you've seen anywhere that's hot and sunny, all the heat that the concrete and tarmac gives up guarantees you a hazy shot. Yeah, Gary Fleming, that movie is a classic. Black Hawk Down, one of my favourites, absolute one of my favourites. If you're on Netflix, check it out, mate, that documentary. It's been like not the real story of Black Hawk Down, but it's like that. They interview a number of the people that were there that saw on both sides, actually. I'm not sure how many episodes there is, 3 or 4. I've not yet finished yet. I will by Sunday. It's my chill out thing at the minute. Good morning, Yorkshire Biker. How you doing, my friend? Crikey. We have some well-placed viewers in the show, don't we? Sam Thurlaway amongst a few in our community who can generally tell us what he's seen that's inbound. Janine Kay, who lives out Frankfurt way, has just seen our inbound CityJet just flown over Janine's house. Looks like we're on the roll with this ATR departure. Windsock is still plenty blowy, so let's just see how this goes. Just love that sound as they overfly drone. Okay, where are we now? So Ryanair's been towed round to a front gate. Plenty of birds here. I think we need to get the bird scaring patrol out. Kind of noticed that last year. What do you reckon, folks? Starlings? They throw some great shapes, don't they? Well, whatever they are, they're busy. So we are into the last half an hour of the show, 25 minutes of part 1. Back live again from 10 o'clock. So if you've yet to drop us a like, please do that thing. Got a Jet 2 pushing over on the far side, although actually KLM are the only plane that I can see transponding. I'm just going to take the mic off while I blow my nose. Back with you. Tell you what, they're proper over flying the runway now. Well, they were. Yeah, look at that. It's a Hitchcock moment. Well, they're not starlings, so I was off with that. I think they were. Yeah, I'm in good shape. Thanks, Yorkshire Biker. Good shape indeed. Well, other than that light cold that I seem to be cultivating, I was full of cold last week midweek and then it disappeared. All inexplicable. Anyway, back to the show. Good morning, Nick Gray. Very early morning for you, Nick. Well, not, it's your normal early morning, of course, but hope you're doing well, mate. Good morning, Lowlander. Top of the morning. You've just got your short walk in, soaked to the skin. I think that must be a taste of what's to come. I think as we transition from easterly to westerly, it invariably gets wetter, doesn't it? Tony Rivers, I've just seen your comment about walking 15 miles to school, uphill both ways, with a sack of coal on each shoulder. Was it set to the music from the Hovis advert, for those of you in the show who can remember that? That's enough of that. Oh yes. Good morning, Willie Bold. The birds are lapwings. Top spotting, Willie. Well done, mate. Watching the shapes they were throwing, I thought they just remind me of starlings, but I realised they seem to have a bit of white on the fuselage. Well, that's how I thought I saw it. Daily memes gaming, not one clue, my friend. Foibles of flight radar, if that's how you're trying to track it. There's also radar box and plane finder. There are other applications that will do that for you. I think retired traveller, before we got to the lapwings, I thought magpie in that moment with the white breast, but as you say, they don't flock like that. How fast is that? Rapid taxi. They are taxiing like they mean it. Just want to make sure they're in part one of the show, so they can have their feet up and watch part two perhaps, or some of it. Blazing down the track. We'll just get away from the bushes for a minute and we'll wait for it to drift back into view. Good morning, Chigwell's finest. How you doing, my friend? And while we're doing good mornings, James Mackenzie Wiley, hello to you, all the way the other side of the globe in New Zealand. Thank you for joining us, James. Mark Sanderson, I can assume my attempt at renditioning, if that is in fact the word I want. Is that a helicopter I can hear? Oh, there is a helicopter. Police. Federales vectoring in. Lay flat on the floor. Yeah, so Mark Sanderson, I may not have hit all of the right notes with my attempt at the Hovis tune, but channeling my Morecambe and Wise, I'm going to say they are actually all of the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. Oops. So we've got Jet 2 taxiing out behind this KLM E195 E2 departure to Amsterdam Schiphol. The Jet 2 is a 737 flight to Malta. No, Audrey, that can't possibly count as in anything. I am doing so well when it comes to avoiding yowling away on stream. It's the only resolution I've stuck to. It's going on in my head, but you know, there's a load of other stuff going on in there too. Keith Cornell, member for 16 months, 3 days for Chico's finest. Happy streaming. Happy having you with us, Casey. Let's do your fireworks now, mate. Awesome stuff, mate. Good morning, Stoffel Bell. Not too far away from here at South Shields. Yeah, I quite like the colour of Spirit Airlines AJ, to be honest. That's the banana thing, isn't it? Yellow, banana yellow, if I've got it straight in my head. Good morning, Rainbow Love. How are you doing? Lurking and working, all right, keeping busy. Hope you're keeping well, as keeping busy as well. So, where to go? Straight down the runway again for the Jet 2 departure to Malta. Good morning, Wayne Tennant. Top of the morning to you, Squire. In fact, good morning to everybody else that may be in the show at this point of the day that we've not had a chance to say hi to. If you've not met me before, I'm Mark. We are in the last sort of 10-15 minutes of part one of our two-part show. So we'll wrap this thing up at about 20 to 10, back live at 10 o'clock. Nothing scheduled to be happening here, so, and if for some reason the red arrows suddenly come out of nowhere, we'll start the 10 o'clock stream early. I think that's how we'll do it. No, Mark Sanderson, I don't think my warbling will have worried those lapwings. My appearance, but not necessarily my warbling. Cheers for the sentiment though. Good morning to John Kenneth Williams. How's the week progressing for you, John Kenneth? I was saying earlier in the show, I keep having to fight down the idea that today is Friday, because I can't remember the last time we ever streamed from Newcastle on a Thursday. We have done too far ago, but so we'll try something different. 100 likes are up, says Gary Fleming. So here we go. Everyone that hit the likes, thank you so much. This is for you. Uh-oh. Mark Sanderson, welcome back to the PSA Crew Lounge, buddy. I think we're going to have to put the fireworks on. I just realised I'm running light on charge for some reason. Anyway, we'll manage to complete part one, easy peasy. Oh, that's got to be a telescope, hasn't it? Telescope 2 has happened while I was grubbing around in the box. Oh man, I didn't see it on flight radar. Couldn't see it with the naked eye, as you sometimes don't. Yeah, telescope 2. We'll do Mark's fireworks in a second. I'm just going to track. Well, that was a soft telescope. And there's me getting all gung-ho about adding to my score. What did I say? Only one, and we're nearly in March. Awful. This is for you, Mark Sanderson. Welcome back. Yeah, look at those telescopes. Yeah, guilty as charged. Rank incompetence. I know, Tony. That's why I'm retired. So I can concentrate on my hobby. I looked at flight radar, didn't see it. Quick look to the horizon, didn't see it. And then got distracted, which is always my alibi. But guilty as charged. Next thing I can see is a T-tail cutting through the shot. Oh man. Right, let's take stock of what's supposed to happen in the next 8 minutes. British Airways are transponding away, due to head back to headquarters. So, and we've got a Jet 2 to Alicante. The Alicante departure is, what time's that scripted for? See the wood for the trees here. So Jet 2 to Alicante is due out at 9:30, so it's due to go now. And British Airways due to go 9:35. So they'll be the last two planes in part one of the show. So there's our Jet 2. Well, two Jet 2s. So part two of the show naturally includes our Boeing 777, courtesy of Emirates. We want to see how the bags are being cherished off this Loganair arrival. I think Loganair could be actually overrepresented in my litany of telescopes. I think telescope 1 for the year is also Loganair, in which case it kind of looks bad. Let's have a look. Stoffel belt, no blue sky, mate, not really. I can just about see the sun peeking through. The overfly potential is still poor, very poor. It is supposed to brighten up through the morning, so even if they say it might rain at 1 o'clock, yeah, it's going to rain at 1 o'clock. Heavy rain forecast with 90% certainty from 1 till 3 really. We'll be out of here by then. We might finish under a breaking shower. Right, I'm just wondering what's going to move first. Ain't going to be this. I think this goes out around 10:10. Certainly this. Although it's not the most televisual, so let's have this instead. As soon as the Jet 2 to Alicante starts rolling, I'll pick it up and put it on the screen. Yeah, I'm not arguing, Tony Rivers. Just one of those things. But let's be honest, you wouldn't accept telescopes as a challenge at Heathrow, would you? It's always something moving. On this occasion though, I just didn't see it. Anyway, I'd be coming up short if I didn't give you something to paste me for. Right, our British Airways departure is moving. Contrast this with that recent KLM departure. I think with the KLM departure they'd obviously had the tyre warmers on before they zipped off out. You're right, Janine, that is a nice little bit of background bird song. I'm not sure whose song, but yeah, it's lovely. It's a bit of a contrast really at an airport. Yeah, Gary Fleming. Linda Cooper works the odds massively in my favour. Shout out to you, Linda, if you are sneaking a cheeky glance. Part of what makes it so much fun, the abundance of moving parts. So we've got 2 departures to finish part 1 with, and then we'll have a quick break and come back, hopefully see you all for part 2. As I say, we're going to have a, I think we come out of that shot, it's too bushy. I have to say, and you can probably tell off the mic, wind is actually picking up. It was supposed to pick up a little bit more, an extra knot or thereabouts, but I don't know, I suppose it's a little bit stronger than that. We'll see in part 2. Oh wowee, H. God bless you, that is so kind, it really is. Gifting 5 memberships to the channel, super support, and who got them? Gary Bradley, Fire Captain 202, I like that handle. Skating Banana, we know Skating Banana, Michael Walker and Claire Whitaker. Let's get some fireworks on for H. Awesome stuff. Oh, planes are gone. There we go. There we go. Good morning, T-Mac. I would say this is going to be a turn and burn, but it's like a super slow-mo turn and burn. Saying about the wind, windsock agrees. Right, here we go. Good morning, Terry the artist. How goes it? LW says 116 likes. Thank you so much, folks. We are literally in the last few minutes of part 1, so please do drop us that like. Hoping you've liked what you've seen and heard. And we'll be back on air at 10 o'clock for part 2. There's nothing going to be happening between times. Does feel a little bit like it is trying to brighten up. That's well received. Right, here we go. Final plane of part 1. Gary Fleming. No, we're not having any more telescopes. I can't believe how soft that was. In fact, I think the first one was soft as well. I think I'm just going to have to reconfigure my setup a little bit. I moved away, had my head in the box. Dear me. So, just this baby to go. So, plane on screen, departing for Alicante. Catch you later, H. Thank you so much for your generous support. Hope to see you later, but if we don't, have fun and hope the day goes well. Fun's not quite the word, is it? But you know what I mean. Have a good day. Yeah, Alibi, he did. And it's worse, it was Scotland's finest again. I got bamboozled. Didn't see it. I did look up, didn't see it. Didn't see it on flight radar, as you often don't with the J145s at that height. Anyway. What a way to finish. It's almost a fly past. So, see you all, hopefully, at 10 o'clock. Till then, take care.